just honoring the energy that's in this room right now. And for those of you who don't know me, I don't know if there's anyone near here, but I am Reverend Patrick, or you can call me Patrick. There was a big debate this weekend. Rita, our wonderful co-spiritual director, was and still is in Toronto at the New Thought Conference, and she said to let you know that she is not only watching, but she is exhilarated and exhausted. What a beautiful combination of energy, yeah? You know, sometimes we have to get exhausted to allow the exhilaration of who we truly are. And so, welcome. Welcome, welcome. We have a few announcements. We have a workshop coming up starting this Tuesday, and the important thing about this workshop is that if you are going to be attending, you need to let Marta know, who's at the bookstore, because she'll just jot your name down because we have to know about materials. And if that's going to be or not be, we might postpone. It doesn't matter. There needs to be that commitment for these workshops. And then we also have a wonderful thing at the end of the month, a movie that the Kaua'i Hospice is putting on. It's called The Gifts of Grief. And I don't know if you've ever experienced it, but they're doing a night on June 27th at 6 p.m. In Princeville. And this is really for, I believe, every age. I know for those of you who know me, they know that I just went through hospice with my mother, and I wish I had been trained at about 18 years old or something about that. And it's really about the celebration of life. So at the end of the month, Tuesday night, 6 p.m., there's going to be a workshop and the movie, and they're doing that, and all proceeds are going to go to Kaua'i Hospice. Once again, I could feel Rita, where she's at right now, wanting me to talk more about her. But all I know is that we miss you, honey. We do. Can we all say aloha to... And Rob and Roseanne are there as well. And Marion and Glenn are there. And so... Yeah, so here we are, and that's an important thing. On July 12th, I want you to mark your calendars. We're celebrating our 2nd birthday. We're having a wonderful fundraiser to accompany that as well. We're going to have lots of food. The sign-up will go up next week. I've realized something about Kauai, and that is this pre-planning real far ahead usually doesn't work. So we do everything kind of at the last minute here with the food. So there'll be sign-ups next week. We are live streaming, as you well know. I know that Tony watches this when she's not here and just has a blast with it. And it really has allowed the people in Kauai who wonder what's really going on over here on Sunday mornings, it allows the opportunity to take a peek in without any kind of coming in and seeing what's, they can feel it. And I've had several people say that's why they've attended on Sunday. Gifts of Grief. July 15th is the Edinburgh Lectures. That's also the Thomas Troward. And that is for anyone. Good morning, Loya. She's bringing beautiful flowers in, for those of you who cannot see it online. And that starts on July 15th, and the books are back there. And we also have the Science of Mind magazine that is there as well. I think that's it for my, usually I would, yes, and yes, we're still looking for a new home. And last week really showed that we did need it. We really do need it. It doesn't matter what is in the room. This room is full. If there's 2 people sitting in this room is full. Because the consciousness that we bring in this room is the power that we are and that we use. So last week we had a lot of energy to use and utilize, as they say. So I think that is it for me. I'd like to invite Malia Reed up here. And she's going to take us into our meditation. And also I'm going to light that peace candle. Or maybe Malia will. We have a peace candle, and what that's about is we are not waiting for peace to happen, because peace does not happen until there is peace within us. Would you agree with that?
Yes.
Yes. We keep asking for them to do it. And that's lovely, and maybe they'll jump on board. But in the meantime, we need to do that. So I have turned this over to Malia, and you'll take us through our meditation,
Okay.
and I will light the peace candle.
So before we start our meditation, because it's a brief one, I would like to do 3 long, deep breathing with all of you. So I'd like to invite you, if you feel comfortable, to close your eyes and place one hand on your belly. So I'm going to explain what we're going to do. We're going to inhale and imagine that we're filling up our belly like it's a beach ball. So when we inhale, the belly is going to get really big. And then when we exhale, the belly is going to go in. So if you want to close your eyes, you can. I'll close my eyes and walk you through it. And so you won't feel self-conscious. So we're going to inhale to the count of 5. Inhale. And then we're going to hold for a few seconds. And then exhale, pulling the tummy in. One more time. Inhaling deeply. Hold. Exhaling completely. One more, the deepest breath you could take. Inhale. Hold. And exhale. Thank you. By Voltaire, faith consists in believing when it is beyond the power of reason to believe. Faith consists in believing when it is beyond the power of reason to believe. Enjoy your meditation. Thank you. Faith consists in believing when it is beyond the power of reason to believe.
And staying in this safe place. The word that comes for me right now, comes up for me, is honor. Let's take this moment to just honor the space in which we inhabit right here, knowing that that space is endless, and there is this energy, there is this presence that needs no name that is right here, right now. And just breathe that in. You are the very breath of this energy, this presence. And we just continue to fill up with this joy, this passion, this light, as we go on to this celebrating of this wonderful, wonderful celebration service that says, yes, I am here. I am love. I am joy. I am the universal flow. So I know we're all here on purpose because there are no accidents. So let us enjoy our time together. Let us celebrate the truth of who we are. Let us celebrate our true identity, which is the universal flow, that energy that says and has created all things. The all that is all is who you are and who I am. And with a nice deep breath, we just, with so much gratitude, we say, and so it is. So it is. Got a little feeling going on in here today, don't we? We're just sleeping from last week. We're just allowing that energy to just flow in. I know. So welcome again. I like it when it starts like this. And it just starts to build that wonderful God breath that we're breathing. So, once again, if you're wondering where Rita is not here. And somehow I will get through the talk. I've spoken with the front desk, and they've allowed me an extra hour or two for us to be here today. Don't get all scared. I could just see that he might be serious. So here, it's okay. So welcome. It's always important, Rita usually does it, but just to tell a little bit about what Science of Mind really stands for and what we believe. And it is a belief that is ancient. It isn't our belief, but we do have a founder, Ernest Holmes, that we always make sure to know that he's not a guru, but I also think that he deserves the honor of synthesizing all of this great information that we get to use from all of the ancient beliefs up until now. So sometimes I think he gets a little shortchanged, and just a little bit about that. He used to do that with himself either. It was like, I'm not that, just let's get on with it. Don't single me out. But I'm singling him out today because he's a founder that has allowed us to remember the truth of who we are. We believe that it's done unto you as you believe. Period. The end of the story. It really only works. It's that easy. And with the science part of us is that it's cause and effect. What you put out comes back. I know you would like to find the loopholes in that, but guess what? There really aren't any. It's science. What you put out comes back to you. Now, this is really easy because that means we get to live life in a very, very, very dynamic way, because that means that we're always at choice. And we get to be responsible. Not for the world. Our planet's already spinning, everyone. We're not flying out of our seats. When I say responsibility, you don't have to get out there and make the cosmos. Trust me, it's been done. But the cosmos of your being is what we're talking about with this teaching. That we get the opportunity to be able to remember who we are and use it. There is a power for good in the universe, and we get to use it. And not only use it, but we get to use it because we are it. You cannot use something that you're not. That simple again. So that's what we believe. And is there anyone today that is new here that's never been here before? My friend over here. So we have a little something for you. It's $1 million in unmarked money. Yeah. I bet you're glad you came. Yeah. And what that's filled with is $1 million worth of ideas. Because I'm going to tell you something, if you have ideas, that's worth more than you are a multi-millionaire, because that's all that creates abundance in the first place. So there we go. And so let's oh, and someone else is new too that has never been here. Hey, how are you? Do we have something? Do we have something for him? Do we do indeed? There's $20 in there, and let's just, yeah. So we go. That's our resident photographer, if you were wondering. So let's tell them a little something about what we know about him, shall we? Okay, ready? You are magnificent. But you knew that, right? You knew that. Yeah. And guess what? Guess how we knew? Isha didn't tell us. No, we just knew. And guess what? We only know that about you because we know it about ourselves. So what do we say? I am magnificent. Now you just look at one another and just tell them and give them a little something, something. You are magnificent to your left, to your right. You are, thank you. You were magnificent. You are. Oh, thank you. This could just go on all day, right? But it won't. Okay, so here we go. And scene, as they say in. There we go. Hi, welcome. Alrighty, we're such family here, right? It's like, hi, how are you? Come on. So anyway, that is what we are. We are community. So I think we should have a community opening right now. And guess what? This is a new month. And just so you'll know, its theme is June Joy. Say with me, joy. Joy. See, you can't even help but smile when you say joy. See? I love it. So shall we?
We shall.
And there's an insert inside your program because we decided to do some new songs. We had printed the program, so we got the real deal in there. So the insert is the one that they're going to use. So this is the time if you want to stand, you can. If you don't, we'll be staring at you. There we go. There you go.
Maybe the words.
As I walk through the valley of love and devotion, I feel you reaching out to me like a wave across the ocean. I feel you here beside me from the blood inside my veins. I will never walk without you. You wash away my ancient pain. And as I walk through the valley of love and devotion, I feel you reaching out to me like a wave across
I was just wondering if maybe the words could be just a little smaller on this side. That was just a random thought for anybody who was just wondering. All of a sudden I looked down and I went, and I need those glasses now. Yeah. So anyway, enough of me. We have an In the Light. For those of you who do not know what In the Light is, In the Light is just a moment that we take with someone to just, different things happen. But today what we're going to be doing with In the Light is Michelle LeMay is going to do the In the Light tonight. What's interesting about it is the last time that she did the In the Light was pretty much when you first came here, pretty close. So I thought it'd be a really wonderful idea to see how much transformation and stuff has gone on in your life since then. So without further ado, Michelle LeMay.
Good morning, everybody, and to everybody watching live. I had the privilege to be traveling for a few weeks, and I got to watch, and it was great to be able to plug in, and I know so much of our family is traveling, so it's great that they can still be a part. And Patrick asked me to share a little bit about what the classes have done for my life, because I've taken 3 classes now. I've done the Science of Mind, the first one, which really goes really deep into the foundation and learning about what we believe and the philosophy. It's really taking what Rita and Patrick talk about here and really blowing it up. Because as much as Patrick can talk, which we know he can, they simply cannot talk about everything once a week for an hour, and they don't even speak the whole hour. So what the class has done for me was really open it up to the just the idea of how infinite it is. It's so powerful once you really delve into what's going on, really what's going on. And the second class I took is Essential Ernest Holmes, which actually boils down all his personal writings and lectures and teachings that he got from everyone else. So it's really neat because I had spent many years looking and searching and reading, but he kind of brings it all down and makes it more focused. So I felt like it was more focused on the beliefs, and again, it really helped me evaluate and look at the way I think. And I feel like I've always been on the positive side of life, and I was even sometimes shocked at the contradictions that were happening in my thoughts. So it really brought a lot of awareness into just, first of all, remembering who I am, and then giving me tools to remember who I am during the times that I forget, which can happen. And then the class that we just most recently completed was Spiritual Economics. You would think that it would be focused on money, but I would actually really say it was more focused about abundance. Because abundance doesn't just come in money form. We were talking earlier, Marta and I, it comes in ideas. It comes from, it's infinite where it can come from. But it's the idea, again, of focusing our thoughts on receiving that abundance and finding what's blocking, what's blocking us. With what has changed in my life is my spiritual practice has changed. I do read the magazine, The Science of Mind. For those of you who haven't cracked it open, there are actually daily readings. So I start my morning off before I even get out of bed reading this, which is great because then it just sets my mind to already be remembering who I am. And then there's great articles and stories throughout that I read, whenever I have the chance. And when I saw the difference was actually when I was traveling and I didn't read it on a regular basis. And I started to forget is what happened. And I started to not feel good, and there was some conflict happening. I was visiting family. Love them, but I get a chance to really put into practice what I learned and to see where I could still grow. But I did. I really saw the difference by not starting off my mornings by reading that. So once I remembered, I was like, I could literally, because you don't have to do it in the morning. That's just what has worked for me. So I could actually just restart my day at any time and read what today's reading is. And today it really hit me because it was all about choice. And that's one of the biggest things I feel that I've really gleaned out of these classes is that I am always at choice. And sometimes I choose the spiritual way, sometimes I don't, sometimes I'm in the middle. I would say most of the time I'm kind of in the middle leaning towards the spiritual loving way, but I get to choose that. And that's what's really powerful because I, for so long, left the responsibility of my happiness to people and places and things outside of me. And that's what the classes have done, is really brought me to me, and to really come from a faith of God. And especially with the spiritual economics, they talk about, this is the book that we were reading. It's by Eric Butterworth. I wanted to have my little prop so you can see, because it is in the bookstore. And the biggest thing is the idea of really, really getting and believing that God is the source and substance of my supply. And we see it, we read it, and it was not the first time, but I guess hearing it from a different perspective really made it click. And for me, what that means is that I am always loved, I am always supported, and everything always shows up for me in the exact time that I need it. I just need to allow it. And that's what the spiritual economics did. It really helped me zone in on certain areas that I know I need to grow. And that's wonderful, because I know that I want to keep growing and learning and changing. Otherwise, we can't have fun, and we can't be present, and we can't be who we are and who we truly are. And I'm really grateful for the classes. At any time that they are, there's workshops, and then there's the classes. And also, just another word is that it hasn't always been easy necessarily either, because these classes have really helped me challenge some really old beliefs that just don't work for me anymore. But they were there for so long that I didn't even know they were there. So there has been times when it's been really emotional and it's been hard, and I wanted to resist it. And that's okay, because that's all part of the process that I went through, go through, and that I'm sure other people can possibly relate to that, because it just is. Like, this isn't something I grew up learning, so I'm unlearning a lot of things. And the classes help me do that in a more in-depth way. And then coming on Sundays, it just reinforces that. It brings it up. It also, by the different topics, it can single out things that we can work on for the week. But then having a class keeps me plugged in, either through the homework, the reading, creating the relationships with the people in the class. And it's been something that's been really valuable, and I certainly encourage. I know that there's workshops coming up soon for June. There's also a class starting in July, to just be open to the possibility of participating, because I know for me, my life couldn't help but change. Thank you.
And we all know that Patrick can talk a lot. How interesting.
Out of everything I said.
Out of everything she said, so just so you'll know, I'm telling you, we really enjoyed it, but this will be Michelle LeMay's last in the life. He talks a lot, does he? How dare you? No, that was just absolutely wonderful. And the reason that we love that is because, you can hear us talk about it, and it's fine, but it really needs to come from people who are actually experiencing it, firsthand. So thank you so much, and you are an absolute dedication. All the students have been just, from the moment we met you, Michelle, you just dove. She just dove in and said, "There's a sea of receptivity. I think I'll do that." Yeah. So, yeah, exactly. So now what we have is some special music. And this is just a little low for me, all of a sudden I realized. Not because of you.
Right.
So we have our special music, and I don't even think that I introduced you. But I think they all know. But this is Jeremy and Amy, who we just absolutely love, the musical directors here. And if I did, if I didn't, you always are introduced by me, because I love you so much, and so does Rita. So you're our gift. So share with us.
I read in the theme of playing. I'm going to play a song called "Wanna Play," written by our friend Melanie Reed, who lives over in Corvallis, Oregon.
Hey, tell me, do you wanna play? Sing a song, make one up, sing along, it's okay. Every day try to find a way, try to make a different day. you know it's wrong to lie when you look up in the sky? Watch the birds as they fly by. Wonder why you are here. You don't have to live in fear. Things are always as they appear. Do you care? Will you share? Take the time to make a friend. Share your love until the end of your life and mine. Share your light and let it shine through your soul and through your eyes. Give a friend a nice surprise. Show your kindness with your love. Always thank the stars above. Hey, 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 hey. Ooh, ooh. Ba-da-da-da-da-da. Hey, hey, tell me, do you wanna live? We have so much to give. Don't let it slip away.
Oh, perfect. Don't let it slip away is absolutely perfect for what we're talking about today. What we're talking about, what I'm talking about. Here we are. Wow. Rita and I always talk about we should get the words to the music because we're always surprised every week, and because they always tie in so beautifully with what we're talking about. And this is all about June Joy. Can you say June Joy for me one more time?
June Joy.
See, you have to do it. Look, June Joy. You can't go June Joy. You know what I mean? It's just impossible. So, are we having fun yet?
Yes.
Yeah, this is what, it's interesting when Rita was leaving, we do our talk titles together, and she said, oh, you're going to be doing it, solo. And she said, you should do Are We Having Fun Yet? Which she never really comes up with those, oh, this is live. No, she doesn't really come up with the titles right then, but she had one for me, and I said, you know what? That's perfect. Are we having fun yet? Because I think sometimes we forget that it's okay to have fun, it's okay to be joyful. The spirituality is not a root canal. It's like sometimes it's like people get very serious with spirituality. And I know you say, well, religion gets serious, but no. Spirituality can sometimes, when you're learning it and you're embracing it for yourself, and especially when you have a philosophy that says you're responsible for your choices, for your life, then it gets very serious because you're like, really? Oh no, wait, what does that mean? What does that mean? I see it on the faces. It's like when you start to say, yeah, and there's a universe that's backing you 24/7, and there's a law inside of you that all you have to do is just figure out what you want and ask that, and then I see the looks like, oh, what does that mean? I mean, and I'm thinking, oh my gosh, this is good news, by the way. So this week, excuse me, glasses again. This week, I was looking up some stuff, and I got a little Bible and stuff happening with me, which is really unusual. I'm not against the Bible. Please let me make that clear. I believe in religions to find commonalities of what we believe instead of looking for what's wrong with it. But, and I just did that preface in case you decided to think that I was like in my next thing about the bumper sticker that I saw that I want to talk about today. But first I want to ask you, do you think it's okay that you live a joy-filled life? Yeah. And do you believe that you can live it all the time?
Yes.
Yes. Okay, see you all later. That was easy. Okay. So I saw this bumper sticker, and it really touched my heart in a way that wasn't exactly joy-filled. And I had to really honor that. And it goes a little something like this. Jesus first, others second, and you last. And so I want you to know, just by the emotion that I'm feeling, it's not about judgment. I'm not judging anyone who would think that way. But what I am saying is that there is no first place, no second place, and no third place. And you did not come to this earth plane experience to be last. You came here first. You will always be first. And there is only one thing going on. So when I hear that, it makes my heart, I was in Princeville, we do once a month service there. I said, my heart felt sore. Sore. Because I can't imagine anyone thinking that they had to be last. And to think of children thinking that they have to be last when you know they always want to be first. And you know, someone like me thinking last, that really would, that whole bumper sticker, I went crazy. I said, I had to have read it wrong, right? Last. I grew up in this idea that everybody got on the bus first, and then if there was room, I'd get on. Ever been there? Yeah, well, in the Bible, though, so that's what I don't understand. This is what it said. It said, these things have I spoken unto you, that my joy might remain in you, and that your joy might be full. Not half full, not kind of full, and certainly not last. Now I'm a little bit off the sore of my heart, and now back into passion of what I believe. No more last. And then it went on to say, you know, there's many versions, which always made me wonder anyway, is that interpretations or is that got a new idea about it? But here, this is what it says. I have told you these things so that you will be filled with my joy. Yes, the joy you will overflow. Overflow. That means you always have enough. Wow. All the time. And so someone said, you know, you can't be happy all the time. Well, that's a belief. You know, things happen. And I'm not talking about not being authentic. I'm talking about even when you're sitting next to somebody who is making a transition from this body to the next body, you can be filled with joy. And it's not always easy. You can be filled with joy with everything that you do. I was having a little example. I was having dinner at this La Costco. Have you ever heard of it? And I don't know about you, but all I know is that like there's a Google God and then there's Costco, because it has saved me many times. Now, probably not my waistline, but nevertheless, I was there and Rita was gone, so it was, you know, I had to go out to dinner, and I know she was jealous that I was at Le Costco. And so I was ordering a hot dog, and not just a hot dog, a Polish dog, by the way. Okay, so I go up to it, and the gentleman, I thought, oh my God, I'm doing this talk. This will be great. I can ask him, are we having fun yet? Right? And I creep out Costco anyway, because I'm always doing stuff like that, you know? And so I walked up to him and he gave me the hot dog and the cup, and it was very automatic. And I said, so, are you having fun today? And he goes, exactly. He goes, in 1 hour and 12 minutes, I'm going to be having fun. I went, oh, do you know you're going to be in my talk on Sunday? So guess what he does? He looks at the clock, 1 hour and now, this is the great part about it. you have to be really miserable to have it down to the minute. Not just like, well, when I get off work, I'll pay. No, 1 hour and 12 minutes. That means he is spending time looking at the clock. And I said, wow. So I walked away and I thought, he's waiting to have fun. Now, I know you might be thinking, well, how much fun can it be with the volume of Costco passing out, pizzas and all of that stuff all day? But that's a choice. And if it isn't his choice, then he's got somebody else's job. He's got somebody else's job. Because then I ran into a girl in the parking lot that worked there that was doing the baskets. And she was smiling so much that she would have lit up half of Kauai. And she's like, "Zow," with this stuff. And she's so filled. And I just left 1 minute and 12 seconds, right? So I was like, "Hi, I'm doing an interview for CSL Kauai." No, I didn't say that. But I got a little conversation with her. And she goes, "I just love my job. I just love it." And I said, "Why?" And she goes, "Well, I get to go out in the air. And I'm get some exercise with the..." Totally different concept. Now, he's not wrong, and she's right. It's not about that. It's about perception. I've had many jobs in my life that I would not say that I was the most thrilled with. But I had a choice. Because I said, I will not work at something that I cannot have joy in. So all those times of cleaning toilets and doing all this stuff and working in warehouses, if you can even imagine, me in a warehouse, that was like how that happened, I don't know. If I believed in karma, I would believe that there was something to be worked out in that warehouse. And there was. There was something for me to find the joy-filled. We're talking about joy. So they go on to say, the Hebrew says, therefore God, your God, has set you above your companions by anointing you with the oil of joy. The oil of joy. Yeah. See, I've seen everybody's go, oil of joy. Yeah. Because this is what it is. Life is supposed to be fun. And we have taken it a little bit, at times, serious. And that's what I was saying earlier about the idea that this spirituality is serious. And you know why it's serious? Because I'm getting up here and saying something that in reality, you should all be leaping out of your seats. Think about it. There's a power in the universe for good, and you get to use it because you are it. That you are this very power that can be and do anything you want. That would make people usually go, oh my gosh. But guess why you don't fully? Well, first of all, you just want to honor me because I'm standing up here. But secondly, it's because you don't fully believe it. And that's okay. We're not here to scold. We have had enough of that in our lives. We've scolded ourselves enough. But then when I say don't believe, this is what I have a new idea for us. You don't believe because there's a part of you that might be, and I don't know, might be afraid of being disappointed. And I said last night, and I'll say it again, you're looking at me and I can see there's that, but one part of you, our being, that says, what if he's right? If he's right, then we have to give up some of our stories. If he's right, then that means I have all this wondrous power. And so that's the good news. But then when it doesn't show up, sometimes you think, well, I only half believe it. So I got an idea for you. Why don't you, because wanting to believe it is the first step, right? Of course, you want to believe something, because the bottom line, I was in a conversation with somebody the other day, and they were arguing what I call for their limitations, and I'll sit for hours for it. I'm fine with it. And I made this statement that said, we'll stay here, I'll even order lunch. And we can do this, but at the end of this conversation, I'm going to see you as perfect as I did the moment you walked in. Nothing you say is going to make me stop loving you. Nothing you say is going to make me think you should go last. Nothing you say is anything but you are magnificent, and it is beyond the words. You are that powerful, and I know it. So when you don't know it, know that I get to know it 100%. And you can't change my mind. Now, the great thing about that is you have to do that for yourself as well, right? To believe it 100%. So I have this idea, it's called, for those people that are involved in the computer world, this thing, I'm not, but I learned this thing from Rita about this thing called system restore. Oh my God. You've got a problem and you can't fix it and you just pop it back before it even happened. I love it. So I said, here's the closer of my talk. Because guess what? And then, I do a daily post on Facebook, and it's hysterical because I get all these, responses like, yeah, but what happens about the hurt? And I did this, and then they're, So I go back into the argue for the limitations, and that's cool. But what I mean by system restore is, and the definition of it is, it goes back to its original state. Ring a bell? Yes. So I thought to myself, how can I practice this? Because I'm no good up here unless I can bring you proof. That's the science part of it. Here's the proof. We just moved into a house that we inherited 2 cats. And they're feral cats, except for the fact they want to be fed twice a day, and they want to demand pretty much everything out of me. And so what they did was they took my little heart, right? So when the little feral cat didn't come home, I'm like, where is Kaua'i? I was like, Rita, you won't believe it, Kaua'i's been out all night. Oh, wow, I just let everybody know that, didn't I?
Yeah.
Wow. Anyway, so here's the deal. I'm allergic to cats. Of course. Of course. So this is what I said. I look at these 2 little lives, and boy, do they know how to relax. Oh my God. They're just like, I thought, if I could only sleep like that, my whole life would change. So anyway, these 2 cats. So I said, I got to prove it. System restore. There had to have been a time I wasn't allergic. I need to go back to the time I wasn't allergic. And I'm going to go back even further than that. I'm going to go back to my original state, which is pure energy that's never been touched by anything. And certainly by 2 joy-filled cats. So I'm looking at them and I'm saying, we're going to have to work this deal out. I'm here for 4 months. And I'm not going out on my deck with the hair and the whole thing. So my eyes started going. I said, how could something that brings me joy, how could I be allergic? How? And so it's because I bought it and I believed it and I said I'm allergic and I announced it and I went around told everybody about it. I'm allergic to cats, I'm allergic to cats. And then all of a sudden I looked at him and I said, I'm done now. And so I am no longer allergic to cats. No, I am not. And then all of a sudden I got all like, wow, this stuff works, man. Yeah. And then all of a sudden, and somebody said, oh, Mr. Smarty Spiritual Pants, how's that working for you? No, the spell's been broken, help, But here's what I realized, and I said it to somebody. I've had that belief for a long time. So it might take a moment or 2 for me to release my belief about it. And I looked over at him and I said, you know what? Anything that is that lovable could not hurt me. And so then I realized how many things we're allergic to. Right? Just in life. Allergic to attitudes, allergic to family. Allergic to people when we meet with them and they're not doing what I would like them to do. I get allergic and they just start sneezing a lot, And what I'm asking us to do is go back to system restore. And that's how I'm ending this. System restore. There is a place on this at all times that we just have to push the button. And I know it sounds out there, perhaps. But I do know that you can do it with anything. And someone said to me, are you actually telling me, if you're going to put it out there, you always get questioned, that I can redo my past, all the hurt I've caused, the hurt I've went through? I said, we're not even talking about that. We're talking about going back and restoring to a place of your perfection and moving from that, looking at the past differently, reframing it perhaps, or that F word, forgive. Yeah. No, I'm not saying you can get rid of your past, but I know that you don't live in your past anymore. You've been restored new. This is restoration time. It's all that Bible reading I was doing, obviously. So yes. So it says, Rumi says, if you are seeking, seek with joy, for we live in the kingdom of joy. I love it. So, what's the two words that when you get in trouble, what are you going to use? System restore. Can I say that together? And it restores you back to your original self. And so that bumper sticker, that says something else first, others second, and your last, is a lie. And I am so glad to have the opportunity to be in front of you to say that was a lie. You have always been, and you will always be, first. You are the idea of life made manifest. It doesn't get any better than that, my friends. Namaste. Oh, now I'm waiting for Rita to come up and do. Oh, hello. So if Rita were here, this is what she would say. This is our time of affirmative giving. I just want to take a moment and not rush through the idea of giving, because kind of like certain words, I've always said from the very beginning, when you pass around a basket, it's a little prehistoric in its own way, but this is what I know, is that you're passing around consciousness. You're giving yourself, and I honor that, and I honor that each and every one of you. So put whatever it is on your heart. We have a little affirmation that we like to say, and it goes something, you'd think I'd have it memorized by now, but divine love consecrates my gift. It goes forth to heal, prosper, and bless. It is evidence of my conviction that God is the source and substance of my supply. I give freely today, knowing it returns abundantly.
Abundance, living life in the abundance. So much good love in abundance. Sweet sensations of a new day rising in abundance. I feel myself in this abundance, giving thanks for this abundance. Counting the blessings of a new day rising. Abundance, living life in the abundance. So much good love in abundance. Sweet sensations of a new day rising. Abundance, I feel myself in this abundance, giving thanks for this abundance, calling in the blessings of a new day rising.
Yes. Abundance. Abundance is everywhere. Just think if abundance was limited to these baskets. No way, because if you do think they're in this basket, then we need to system restore. Because let me tell you that abundance is everywhere, seen and unseen, and it's right where you are. So what I know is that from this moment to the next unborn moment, there is absolute prosperity, abundance, health, wealth, everything imaginable is right here because of who and what we are. So we take this and we know that it multiplies, multiplies, and multiplies. The law of circulation. So I say thank you, mahalo, mahalo, as together we say, and so it is now. And one little note on that is that we are a tithing center, which means that everything that comes in, we take 10% of that and we put it back out into the community or back out. We've been giving our 10% to Nepal because of some of the things. And we also have a member, Anna Myers, who I actually saw last night, and she's going to come next week and do a little in the light about her experience about being over there. And so I just want you to know that, because several members have said it was really important for me to know where the circulation goes, that we have that and we honor that. And that's something that Rita and I really believe in. This center would never be going if we did not tithe. That is our belief system. So let's do some, how did everything go out there?
Very well.
Yeah? Great. Okay. Just in case there was a little, something I wanted to. So let's do some thank yous. Today I just want to say it was so wonderful. I know that people knew that Rita was not here, so you know how they think that I can't feed myself or anything else. A lot of people really do believe that, and that's what community does. And it was so beautiful to have the texts this morning saying, we're going to be there early. We know that Rita's not there. We'll help you set up. And I'm going to tell you, that was the quickest setup in the history, because we had so many beautiful people. We had Kelly. We had Michelle. We had, well, Ron's not here, but he'll be here next week. Dan and Marta and Karen. Jeanette, oh my gosh, Jeanette was lifting tables when I came in. And so I just want to say thank you, because it made me feel so, and Kelly, who's sending me texts saying, do you need me to come up to your house, and help you load, or thank you. Because that's what this community is. And Janice, for always staying in absolute consciousness. For our children, our youth, and just what you bring to the room. So all of you, I just want you to know that a day doesn't go by, as I have said, that when you're not here, we still think about you. We're just not an organization that comes looking for you. But I'm going to tell you something. When we don't see you 3 or 4 weeks, I get a little phone, because not because it's like you're not doing what you're supposed to. It's because we love you. And if you didn't see a family member for a while, wouldn't you? Well, I guess it would all depend on the family, but wouldn't you give them a call to make sure that they were okay? So I'd like to thank also Gabi, who sits back there every week and holds an anchor of spirituality for this as well. Loya, thank you for the beautiful flowers. And then our beautiful Jeremy and Amy. Yes, thank you. Is there in Elwood, my greeters right in front of me, Jackie and Brenda Joy, June Joy, there we go. And we cannot forget the people who are watching us out there, and the people that really believe in us on the mainland and all around the country that are making sure that this continues to go. So I thank you. And Rita, since we are, and there's a new book, which is the Edinburgh. For those of you that are going to be doing the July 15th, it's going to be at Sun Village, and it is at 6 p.m. starting, and it's a Wednesday, I believe. But I had to tell, how we're transparent, one thing before, I feel like we're going off air now. But I had to tell one thing that Rita said to me. Maybe she's eating lunch by now. This is what she said. She called this morning, she goes, I'm going to be watching live. And I said, oh, this will be the first time you get to actually watch this service. And she said, it better be good. And I said, you know what? I'm going to tell them. I will tell them, because that's what family does. They throw them under a bus. I mean, that's it. So we miss you, Rita, your presence here today. I know I was fulfilling, but still, we still, that balance that Rita and I put out is just absolutely priceless. And I recognize it, and I know all of you do too. So that's it. I love you. Shall we have a little closing? We're going to circle up, and I love the new song that yay!
I'm going to do Rita's job of spinning this rhythm.
Oh. Rita, Dan's doing your job today. There we go. Karen.
Let's start with here.
Oh, wow.
So, just a little FYI, the first word is missing, so it opens with sometimes in our way. Sometimes.
Sometimes in our lives, we all have pain, we all have sorrow. But if we are wise, we'll know that there's always tomorrow. We don't need when you're not strong. I'll be your friend. I'll help you carry on. Lord, it won't be long till I'm gonna need somebody to lean on. Please swallow your pride. If I have things you need to borrow, no one can fill those of your needs that you won't let show. You just call on your brother when you need a hand. We all need somebody to lean on. I just might have a problem that you understand. We all need somebody to lean on. When you're not strong, I'll be your friend. I'll help you carry on. No, it won't be long till I'm gonna need somebody to lean on. You just call on me, brother, when you need a hand. We all need somebody to lean on. I just might have a problem that you'd understand. We all need somebody to lean on.
What I know is that we have a community right here. We have a family, an ohana right here that we can lean on at any time. And what I know is that there is gratitude running through every cell of my body when I think of this body of community and this beautiful, beautiful essence of God Himself. And right now I am so grateful for Spirit to remind me that I am so grateful for Malia and Michelle, who also contributed today. That's right. System Restore. That's right. So all I know is that this is a beautiful moment. I feel it, I know it, I am it, we are it. As together in one in consciousness we say, and so it is now.
If spirit alone, you have to bear as you can carry. Right up the road, I'll share your load. If you just call me, you got to call me. If you need a friend, you got to call me. If you ever need a friend, you got to call me. If you need a friend, you got to call me. You got to call